Hello, this is Arcady116 with another Class Hall Tours video. This time I'm going to be covering the Deathknight, which is actually one of my favorite classes in the whole game. But anyway, the cool slash disappointing thing about the Deathknight is they basically just reused the I guess the Deathknight only area that you had before, but they updated it a little bit. So anybody who's ever played a Deathknight will probably recognize this place. The only real difference, well, there's a few differences, but one of the differences is the Atris Hold, um, the place I was just talking about, gets moved to the Broken Shore instead of where it used to be in Azeroth, or Eastern Kingdoms, I guess. What's that place called? The Eastern Plaguelands. There you go. This is where it used to be, in the Eastern Plaguelands, but now it's actually in the Broken Isles, just off the Broken Shore, so anyway, just a small little detail, but here's a Flight Master guy, where you can fly to anywhere in the Broken Shore. As long as you have the flight path, you can fly to Dalaran, you can fly to Azuna, Valshera, wherever, like any zone, you can fly from here. There's also a portal to Dalaran here, so you really don't need to fly to Dalaran from here. You can just use the portal. It's a lot quicker. And it's cheaper too, because the portal's free anyway. This guy right here, if you got the upgrade for it, you can put in a work order to get a frost drake, which you can actually use that frost drake once a day to complete a world quest instantly. You can't use it on like elite world quests like this one, where you have the golden dragon around the circle. But you can use it on any of these that don't have that. So like say this one, for example. Of course, I have to wait 15 hours to use it again, but just throwing it out there, just for the hell of it. Anyway, we'll continue on. So, this thing's kind of like a portal that takes you to the other part of the class hall, but for now I'm just going to show this part of it to begin with. Right in the middle, this is where your work, or what do you call it? Your scouting map, like where you can send all your followers and all that kind of stuff. So, just like with the rogue video, I'm just going to quickly show you guys each of the followers you can get as a Deathknight. This Nazgrim guy, if I remember right, he was a really prestigious orc general in the Horde until he got killed, and, well, we raised him as a Deathknight. So now he's an unholy Deathknight, and he's one of my followers, and I think he's kind of cool. Bessarion, I think he was part of the Alliance at one time until he was raised as a Deathknight by the Lich King. So, anyway, he's a follower as well. He's a Frost Deathknight. Boris Trollbane, he was part of the Trollbane family in Arathi, the Arathi Highlands. They, again, with this lore stuff, like, you'd have to look them up, but that whole storyline it's quite complicated and stuff, but I won't get into it. But he's a Frost Deathknight as well. Rotgut, he's an abomination who, for whatever reason, is considered a Blood Deathknight. So it's kind of cool to have a follower that's an abomination. And Koltira Deathweaver, he's kind of like Vassarion, but instead he was part of the, well, he's a Blood Elf, and he was part of the Horde at one time, until he was raised as a Deathknight. And then once he got, basically got his will back, like he broke free from the Lich King, and he joined the Horde again. So he's a Blood Elf Deathknight, and he happens to be Blood specialization. He's also a bodyguard, so he actually accompanies me when I do quests and stuff. So he's kind of cool. I mean, he's fun. I like him. He's not the best in the world, but I like him. These are the Ebon Ravagers. They're one of the 2 troop types. This is the upgraded version of the Deathknight Initiate, I think is what they were called. But they get a random specialization, which can counter bosses. Just like any of these guys. Frost counters specific bosses, Blood specific bosses, and Unholy, specific bosses. So, yeah, whatever, right? But anyway, these guys can get that randomly when you recruit them, which is kind of cool. And the pack of ghouls are like your basic troop, kind of like these guys, but they're not quite as good. They're cheaper to build though, but basically you send zombies after guys, so you gotta like it, right? And moving on, we got the High Lord Darian Mograine. I think he was part of the Scarlet Crusade or something, if I recall. I don't remember exactly, but he's now an Unholy Death Knight under my command. And then there's Amal Fazad. He's a Lich who just happens to be a Frost Death Knight. I don't know why he'd be considered a Frost Death Knight if he's a Lich. But anyway, kind of cool, right? You get a Lich follower. And High Inquisitor Whitemane, if you have ever done the Scarlet Monastery instance, she's the priest at the end who resurrects Mograine. And you have to fight them both at the same time. But she's now, I raised her as a Death Knight, and now she's an Unholy Death Knight, which is ironic, because before she was a Holy Priest. So I just find that kind of ironic in a way. She went from being holy to being unholy. And then this girl, I don't have her yet because I haven't done any of the Broken Isle stuff, but she's a Blood Death Knight. And you can assign her as a bodyguard as well. So I guess she's kind of like Koltira, but instead of being a blood elf, she's a female undead. So that's kind of cool anyway. But anyway, that's all the followers. This is where you can get all your artifact knowledge, this person right here. So here's where the command table is. Here's where the flight master is, and here's the portal to get to the other area of the Ebon Hold. Well, anyway, here's where you can get your artifact knowledge, roughly where I am. And this guy, you can get all the class hall upgrades. You can pick which ones you want. So, as you guys can see what I have here. I mean, these are just what I picked. I picked Brothers in Arms just to be able to upgrade my followers, give them better item level, basically. I will eventually switch to Call of the Grave just to recruit an extra knight, extra Ravager and Ghoul. But anyway, I'm going to wait until I need it anyway. And then this one right here, you can either turn your ghouls into Geist Swarms, which increases their chances of mission success by 5%, or you can go for Live by the Sword, which changes your Ebon Knights into Ebon Ravagers, which is what I have. They gain a random specialization and can counter a boss. So that's what I picked. I mean, I'm sure other people would do something differently if they wanted to. I mean, it's purely up to you, right? And I picked the Frostworm because that allows you to call down a Frostworm to instantly complete a non-elite world quest on your map once every 18 hours. But you could go for the Abomination instead, which is basically like a stronger troop. But that's just what I picked. I mean, everybody's different, right? So up here, roughly down in the southwest corner of this, I guess it's kind of like a cross, eh? Except it's got a wheel in the middle. But you can recruit ghouls over here. I already got the maximum amount that I have, but just showing you guys where you can recruit them anyway. You can kind of see them in the test tubes and stuff. And there's a ghoul hanging out there. So over here, If I remember right, this guy gave you the quest to get Rotgut, the follower. If you do the whole quest line, you get this guy as a follower, which I thought he was kind of cool. But anyway, just over here you can get that quest. I've already done it, so you can't see me do the quest here. And here's where Amal Fazad hangs out, the Frost Deathknight Lich guy that I was talking about. And he's just right over here. You can do a quest for him, and he eventually gives you the, whatever you call it. You basically get him as a follower, so kind of cool. I don't know what this guy's deal is. He doesn't seem to be selling anything. Just kind of weird. But oh well. That's basically this whole area. I don't think there's anything else to really show you. So I'll go for the portal. And we'll get to the other part of this whole area. So going from here, this guy is a repair vendor. You can't sell anything to him. But based on your reputation with the Knights of the Ebon Blade, which is a Wrath of the Lich King faction, which is basically the whole Deathknight faction in general, you can get up to a 20% discount on repairs if you're exalted, which is why I'm exalted. I grinded the rep just purely because of that. Because I like repairing for less money. Maybe it's just me, but the more money you have, the happier you are, right? And I don't really know what this guy does. I don't recall. There's actually a forge and anvils here, if you're a blacksmith. My character, my Death Knight isn't a blacksmith. He's actually a inscriptionist and a herbalist guy. So unfortunately, I can't make use of those, but anybody who is, well, you got anvils and forges here, so you can do your blacksmithing stuff here. And these things right here, they actually show off your skins that you've unlocked, like your for your artifact. So here's the hidden skin, and here's the upgraded like basic skin for Frost. I usually play Frost, but I do play Blood as well for tanking, which I can show you guys really quickly here. Because as you guys can see, these things change based on your spec. As you can see, I don't have the hidden, like the first hidden skin for Blood, so that one disappeared. But I do have that upgraded skin, so you can kind of see it here. Which is kind of cool anyway. This guy right here is the quartermaster. As you can see, he's right there, and that's where the repair vendor is. You can repair this guy too, but unfortunately, he's not on any kind of rep. So what I usually do is I sell everything to this guy, and this is purely because I'm cheap, and then I go and repair at this guy. It's purely because I'm cheap, because I like to spend the least amount of money possible when I repair or when I buy stuff, so maybe that's just me. But anyway, Quartermaster's right here. You can buy all of the Death Lord set for the Death Knight, which is the Legion Class Hall set. You can also buy some of the old questing gear that you had when you were questing with your Death Knight originally, which is kind of cool, but I already still have that stuff. But in case you still need those appearances for Transmog, you can at least buy it off of him, which is kind of cool. This guy's a general goods vendor. He's on the Knights of the Ebon Blade reputation. He can sell you, crystal vials, rune thread, bright baubles for fishing, jeweler's kit, light parchment, which is used for inscription, which is what I am, and a virtuoso inking set, which is used for inscription. So anyway, just another vendor, right? This guy, you can do the work orders for the champion armaments and equipment, kind of like with the rogue. So you can basically upgrade your followers that way. This is one of the rune forges that you can actually do your rune forging at. As you can see, there's only 3 runes that you can put on your weapon now. But generally, the best one for tanking and for unholy, and for at least one of your weapons as frost, is Rune of the Fallen Crusader. You guys can read it. At least I hope you guys can read it, because I'm not going to tell you what it does, but it's an awesome rune, and it's a really good enchant on your weapon. And that's exactly what I have on my blood weapon. You can see the Rune of the Fallen Crusader on there. And then Razor Ice is the other one that you want on your frost weapon, because it's a really good enchant for frost. So what I do is I actually have my main hand having, I think it's my main hand. I'll just quickly check. I don't recall exactly. So sorry about that, guys. Where's my rune forge then? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, my main hand I have Rune of Razor Eyes, and on my off hand I have Rune of the Fallen Crusader. So that's just what I do. I mean, I guess everybody's different. Maybe there's a better way, but it's just what I do. This guy right here... Oh, I guess you can challenge this person to a fight? I never knew that. But this one right here is a trainer. Like I said in the Rogue video, back in vanilla, you'd have to get all your skills from the trainers. But now all the trainers are really good for is to enter the Proving Grounds. So if you ever want to go to the Proving Grounds, it's just right here. And right in the middle here is where all the training dummies are. You can basically just work on your rotation, just kind of get more comfortable with your spec and stuff. So kind of cool. And as you guys can see, a bunch of Deathknight NPCs just practicing, as well as the player practicing her rotation. So anyway, kind of cool. There's another rune forge right here. And right over here is where you can recruit the Ebon Blade guys. For me, it's the Ebon Ravagers, because I have that upgrade. But anyway, if you want to recruit those guys, he's just over here. And pretty much finally, we have the Rune Forge. Or I guess they call it the Soul Forge. You can see all the traits that I have for my Frost weapon. I've got them all. I should probably start working in the Broken Shore soon. But anyway, this is what I have. I have everything maxed out on this weapon. I have everything maxed out on my blood weapon as well. And I'm just missing one on my unholy one. I don't really play unholy myself. I know some people like it, but I like frost more. I mean, it's just personal preference. And if you guys like frost or unholy, then, you know, cool. Whatever. But I just prefer frost. I just don't like unholy at all. I just like how frost is so simple to play, and I just have fun playing it, so whatever you enjoy, right? Here's my blood weapon traits. I've got everything. So, yeah. Guess I forgot to get the one, or upgrade the one trait again. So, gone up to 13% extra armor, which is kind of cool. So here's all your appearances. These are the ones that I got. This is the variation on the hidden skin for doing 200 world quests with a hidden skin. I don't have the regular one yet. I'm working on trying to get it soon, but unfortunately I don't have it. So I've been using this one just because it looks kind of cool. But here's what the axe looks like originally. Of course, this thing's going to spin around very slowly. Here's what it basically looks like when you do the whole Deathknight class haul campaign. So as you can see, it changes a bit. And then here's the variations, right? Like green, blue, purple. Basically all that stuff. I'll just quickly show the frost. So I guess this video will be a little longer than I expect, but here's the purple version of the hidden skin. Here's the regular one. I like the purple one because it kind of matches my transmog. But, you know, again, personal preference, right? Here's what the Blades of the Fallen Prince look like originally. Personally, I think they look pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty awesome. Here's what they look like upgraded when you do the Class Hall campaign. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. What I've been doing late, I've kind of gone back to the kukri that I have. It's a level, I think it was like a level 11 sword that I had. And I used it for my transmog just because I think it looks awesome. Because I think it looks just, I just love the look of it. Maybe it's just me. But I like running around with dual kukris on my Deathknight. And plus, he's a gnome, so he's really short anyway. So these kukri, they look massive with him. So, as long as you enjoy it, right? I mean, it's purely for looks, transmog. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.